takeaways. We're going to take a look at the 2-1 defeat against Aston Villa and see what 5 things we can take away from the game. And first up is Gio takes his chance.
Yeah, and he got a big chance yesterday. We were saying, weren't we, in the preview, Gio has to take his chance this time. Otherwise, he's got no future here. And I thought he grabbed it with both hands. And I thought he was exceptional. Not on the ball, but off the ball as well. He won 7 of his 13 ground duels. He created 3 key passes, completed 3 out of 3 long passes, 4 tackles as well, which was more than anyone else on the pitch. 92% pass accuracy, and obviously he got the goal as well, which put us 1 up. Obviously, it was a massive shame we didn't go on to win, but I thought Gio did his chances of having a Spurs future really well.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he was breathtaking at times yesterday, one of our most creative players on the pitch. And, you know, a lot of people have had a lot of words to say about Giovanni Lo Celso, including ourselves, including other people. We both, I think, were in agreement saying that he needs to get his chance. He needs to play this game and see what he can provide. And I think it was all positive things. So in the absence of James Maddison, we were very worried about the creativity in the midfield and what we can provide. And that was definitely compounded at the loss against Wolves just before the international break. But I think watching that midfield performance with Bentancur, Lo Celso and Kulusevski, but Bentancur aside, you just look at the performances of Kulusevski and Giovanni Lo Celso, and there's going to be more than enough creativity in that midfield moving forward until Maddison comes back for sure. Yeah. So I was so happy with the performance that Giovanni put in. But let's look at number 2, and I just alluded to it a little bit there, but it is Deki Central.
Yeah, and he you know, started in central midfield yesterday, which is his first time he started in that position for us, I think. And I thought he had an exceptional game, and he really showed that he's really capable in those areas. So strong. The stats say it as well. He competed for 21 duels, winning 10 of them. Completed 6 of his 10 dribbles as well, a lot of them coming from out wide. Completed 3 tackles, 1 interception. Completed an 83% passing accuracy as well, which, considering it's a bit further forward, is maybe understandable. Maybe it was a bit less than the Celso, but I thought he just had an exceptional game. Obviously hit the post as well early in the game, but he was just a constant nuisance. They didn't know how to deal with him, and his strength really is underrated. How strong he is. You can't really muscle him off. I saw Douglas Luiz getting floored when trying to take him on. And as well, I thought as well, he was brilliant central, and I thought as well when he moved out wide late in the game, he played quite well as well and continued that threat. So exceptional game, and I think maybe going forward we found a new position for him.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's a position that a few people have been calling for a while now with Dejan Kulusevski, and I feel like his best 2 performances of the season, the latter stages of that Sheffield United game when he got moved into central, and now in this game, have actually been his best 2 performances of the season, in my opinion. Definitely his most creative performances of the season, and I'm here for it. I think we need better wingers, to be honest, to play out wide, because Brian Hill, I don't think he did enough yesterday to really command that spot to play in there long term. Brennan Johnson looked good, but we are lacking numbers out wide, so I'm not sure if it's wise to keep Kulusevski in the middle there just because of that situation. But once we do populate the squad a bit more, I think we can see more value in Kulusevski moving in central. But in the short term, I'm just not sure if it's the wisest move to play Brian Hill week in, week out.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But he was absolutely brilliant, Kulusevski. It was really lovely to see how he was able to just shield the ball in the central area and play quick football as well. He showed he could really do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But moving on to number 3, and that is Porro Unsung.
Yeah, and I think he, you know, probably doesn't get enough praise, Porro, for some of his performances. And I thought another really strong showing yesterday, and was one of our most creative players on the pitch. Got 4 key passes, which was the most of anyone on the pitch. Won 2 of his 2 aerial duels, completed 3 crosses as well, which is more than anyone else. 1 tackle, obviously hit the post with a brilliant shot late on and forced a good save out of Emi Martinez as well. And when he's really involved in the offensive play like he was yesterday, he's so threatening, and he's got such great quality in that right foot of his, and it really is, he's so dangerous. So sometimes he has these, I think a few times this season, maybe he's been working on his defensive game and he hasn't been quite as involved defensively in some games, but I think now hopefully he starts getting forward a bit more, because he's just so much of a threat. You just need that quality in the final third that he provides. Yeah. And I think as well, defensively, I still think he had a pretty strong game.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And what's great about Pedro Porro, right? You cast your mind back to his debut against Leicester when he got torn to bits in that game. Ever since then, he has pretty much been on a constant upward trajectory, constantly improving. He improved massively from that point on till the end of the season, and I think he's taken up that fivefold as well this season. He's consistently improving this season as well, and I actually think he's been our most consistent performer this season, and potentially he's got a shout so far to be our player of the season so far.
Yeah, I can't think of a bad game he's had.
Yeah,
can't think of one.
And not only that, but he keeps improving, in my opinion. But let's move on to number 4, and that is chances galore.
Yeah, and obviously Spurs yesterday, despite the defeat, it was actually one of the games where we created the most chances we've had this season. We had 18 shots on goal, which I think was the third most this season in the Premier League for us. 8 shots on target, which was second most. We created 2.3 XG, which is actually our highest total of the season in any game, which is incredible to think about. So considering the amount of chances we created, especially under the circumstances as well, is very, very encouraging. And look, on another day, we could have won that comfortably, to be honest. And it's just a shame that and that's why it's probably so hard to take that we ended up losing. But I think definitely the stats are there for me to say that very, very encouraging performance for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this game should have been outside in the first 20 minutes, to be honest. Like, that's how good we were in those opening 20 minutes. Like, we could have scored 3 or 4 goals. It's a major kick in the teeth that we didn't win this game because of how good we actually were and how many chances we actually created. But instead of dwelling on us losing the game, I prefer to look at the positives and look into the future. And if we can keep playing like that, whilst getting our players back, so we're not so vulnerable at the back with Mickey van de Ven, Coutinho, Romero, Maddison still to come back as well. We've only got good things coming our way, in my opinion. So I'm very positive of the outlook of Tottenham Hotspur at the moment. I'm very happy with the way we performed yesterday. It's just gutting that we didn't win and didn't get what we deserved. But you can see that Spurs are on the right track, so I'm very happy about that. And once we get a few players back, once we add to the depth of this team, we're going to be a serious outfit. So I literally have no... I don't think anything else, because that's the only way I think we're going, and is in the upward trajectory. But let's move on to the 5th and final takeaway, and that is centre backs exploited.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, this was probably our downfall in terms of negatives. As much as I thought Davis and Emerson gave a good account of themselves for filling in at centre back, for their level, playing at centre back. Unfortunately, they were the ones who were exploited in our weakest moments. And I think if you look at all the best chances Villa had, unfortunately a lot of it came from Emerson and Davis. Not only just their quality, but also the lack of communication, talking between those two, which definitely you saw between Romero and Van de Ven throughout this season. You look at the disallowed goal, Watkins wanders in between Emerson and Davis, no one communicating to pick him up, and he had a free header. Luckily for Tottenham, they got away with that one. The Torres equaliser, that was beating Davis in the air. Actually, Torres had a chance early in the game as well, winning a header as well, which we got away with. For the winner, which Watkins scored, again, wanders in between Davis and Emerson. No one taking responsibility for Watkins and getting close to him. And he doesn't even have to do anything special. Just takes one touch and shoots and slides it into the goal. And then as well, Watkins later on just completely bullies Ben Davis for a headed chance at the back post, which he really should be scoring. And he had an open goal. He just put it wide. But again, Davis was completely bullied in those moments. So look, unfortunately, we'll have the centre-backs out, especially Romero out for the next game. These are the only options we have, but unfortunately this was probably our weakest point in the game, and that's the reality.
Yeah, and it was no surprise that it was our weakest point in the game. We were playing 4 fullbacks in a back 4. I think they did the best that they could, to be honest, Ben Davis and Emerson, but it's just who they are. It's just what they are. It's what position they play. And I felt like all the dangerous moments were because of their lack of defensive capabilities and lack of physical presence, especially with Ben Davis. So it was unfortunate to see. I do say if Van de Ven and Romero play this game, I don't think the majority of those chances happen. And I think we win this game quite comfortably. So it was just a massive shame. But it is what it is. We are on the right path. That is our 5 takeaways. Let me know in the comment section below, do you agree with our takeaways? If not, let us know your takeaways from that game in the comment section below.